Hey guys, welcome to One Offs. This is Lasco's Flower and my boyfriend Lasco Sound, who is currently drinking a beverage.
I can't wait to edit my gross noises out.
Ugh, gross. Anyways, today's movie review is Parasite.
Yeah. What'd you think? I want to keep this super short, so I'm going to try to be super concise. But go ahead and give your impressions overall.
Oh my god, okay, so I thought it was going to be about a movie about actual, parasites. Like
In your
horror
brain, it was
movies.
a horror movie.
Yes, in my brain it was a horror movie. But then I'm like, okay, it's metaphorically, yes, they're parasites. Overall, I love the movie. I had so much anxiety during the scenes and just like the suspense, and I was like, oh my god. And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud of them because I'm like, they're hustling and they're winning. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's going all downhill.
Yep, shit gets out of control.
Yeah. Overall, I empathize with them because man, the living conditions were just terrible. Like I felt so bad that people, live like that, and it made me kind of sad and just I'm like, I get it. They're doing this because of they're poor. They don't have a great house.
The Wi-Fi struggle was real in the beginning.
The Wi-Fi struggle. I was like, oh,
I've done that before.
I know. I had a friends who do that too. They're like, oh, they would like be literally right by the wall, almost outside of the window, trying to get the Wi-Fi password from their neighbors. And I was like, okay, that's relatable. But just overall, as the movie continued,
there used to be in one of the houses I lived in a restaurant that offered free Wi-Fi across. So I would put my Xbox near the window, and it would just be just enough for me to play like some games.
That's what my friend did, but with his computer, with his laptop. It was always just like the struggle. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and the family, just the characters.
Grade school it.
Grade school it. I want to say it was an A. For me, it was an A, I think. There were some parts where I'm like, I didn't understand, but that was more towards the end.
Yeah.
Character development, I think was great. And I don't know, I think the characters were all good and bad. The good characters and the bad characters. I think they were all just really great.
Yeah, I give it an A-.
You and your minus, you negative motherfucker. Anyways, what scene did you like the most?
Man, so basically the whole 15 minutes? I don't even know how long it was of them. Like the second they figure out basically everything that middle section where. Well, so first of all, it was shot really pretty, like the way they held shots and the way when they chose to do cuts and how they chose to like just frame everything.
Yeah.
But basically everything from when once the family goes to camp.
Yeah, the rich
and
family.
The doorbell rings from that first time up until the very end of where they're just at the start of the gym and they're all falling asleep. That whole section is probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, because it was like they're all enjoying, the house, being alone, drinking, having fun, to the point where being exposed by the old maid and her creepy husband. Yeah, because
it's like at first she shows up and you're like, why is she here?
Yeah, my first thought was when she was like trying to like push the big thing?
Spoilers, by the way.
Oh, right. Spoilers.
Probably should have led with that. Full spoilers.
This whole series is always spoilers.
I'll put a giant spoiler tag.
Yes.
But yeah, spoilers. You've been warned.
Anyways, once she
extra warned.
Okay. Once she went down to the basement and, Chung Soo, she goes down there just to see what's going on with her. She sees her against the wall trying to push this, like, cabinet thing.
Yeah, you're
and
like,
my first
what?
thought is, like, is she trying to, like, push it down because, the rich wife, she likes the plum water from it. And like, she's trying to break it. But then it's like, no, she needed to move it because her husband is living down there in the nuclear base down there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god. Like, it just totally went out of crazy. My first thought was to not have let her in. Just being rational. Like, why would you let someone who got fired from, your workplace come back in?
Yeah.
Especially when she seemed kind of crazy because she was laughing a lot. And I feel like that was their one mistake, considering how much, how they were all there in secret. But You're right. The whole scene, the whole awkwardness of that one scene, though,
Mm.
when they were
When they were doing it, or starting to, they were setting the
yes,
mood.
when just the dad and the sister and the brother were all underneath the coffee table type
Yeah,
of thing, and the rich kid is outside in his teepee tent,
the son,
the
the
the rich
youngest son.
son, yeah, and he's just enjoying it in the rain, and the parents, the rich parents, are just on the couch right there, we're waiting, to just watch the kid, and then they're like, let's go to sleep here, and then they do, and we're just like, oh my god, they're going to get caught because they're right underneath the coffee table, and then the rich parents start getting a little frisky.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, how awkward is that? And just everything. You're right, that whole scene. My heart really was like, oh my god, when the flooding happened at their neighborhood, and they basically lost their whole house. It was all
Yeah.
flooded. And I was like, oh my god.
I wonder if when I feel like it's a stretch, but I always wonder because I know a lot of people when they shoot films and do stuff, they want to put in little secrets and Easter eggs. So I wonder if when they were in the house trying to get stuff while it was flooding, if the lights were blinking in like Morse code and if it said anything.
Oh, you think so?
I wonder just the
Like a
way it's shot
foreshadow?
because it goes from the one guy, the husband of the original maid, doing Morse code to the kid or trying to, it shows that immediately to them in the house trying to get stuff and all the lights are flashing. Obviously like it would because of the
Oh,
storm,
you're
but
right.
at the same time, I wonder if they did put
Like a
anything in
little
there.
fun thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. I don't know Morse
I'd have
code.
to. I'm gonna do some googling once we're done here to check.
Yeah. I felt bad for the husband, the one that was downstairs living in
Yeah.
there, because I'm like, I get it, and
Well, he borrowed money from gangsters, and now they
that
want
was
his
what I
kneecaps.
mean is I feel bad due to the fact that he literally witnessed his wife die in front of
Oh
him.
yeah,
Like she did all this for him, and honestly, he's a shitty husband to be honest for putting her in that
not
situation.
cool.
Yeah, it's not cool, and she was working so hard feeding
But
him
from
in
the
there
sounds of it,
secretly.
it's like they borrowed money. It wasn't like he was gambling. It's like it was for their business
That went
that went
terribly
under.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. Even still though,
yeah.
like oof. And then
And it doesn't seem like she didn't know about it. I'm sure it was something they both agreed to from the way they were
he just
talking.
took most of the fall.
Yeah, I'm sure he's the one who went to get it.
Yeah. I get it. That's what I mean. I get it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It was just like really, really sad the living condition and how he respected Mr. Park so
I did not
much.
know that they would have to read because I'm pretty sure this movie does take place in
No,
Korea.
I think so because they kept talking about
Yeah, but I
the
was just
Korean
surprised that
state.
they have their own version of Miranda rights.
Every
Oh my tummy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I,
When he woke up from the surgery and the cop
Kevin.
was there
Yeah, and he was reading the. What do you mean their own version?
of the Miranda rights.
He's like, you have the. Do you have the right to remain silent?
Yeah,
That's what he said. Yeah.
that's not a thing in most other places.
Well, I mean, they're still civilized, I guess,
Well,
from what we
sure,
saw.
but it can't all be the same.
No, probably not. But
Again, I'm gonna have to do some googling just to
do you think
better
maybe because
understand
they were
some other
involved
world
with a rich
laws.
family?
I'm sure their police have some form of something. It was just I was surprised that it was that close to it. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that was something done just for the film for like American audiences, but this doesn't
maybe.
seem like the movie to do that.
I don't think so. I think I don't know. But yeah, just everything and from I think the part where we were like, okay, it's crossing the gray line was when they were trying to get the original maid fired with her
Well,
peaches
when they got
allergy.
the driver fired,
That was yeah,
because that was planned.
but that didn't endanger his life though.
True. Well, it didn't. Her getting fired, it didn't endanger her life.
But her getting her
Oh
reaction,
well,
yeah,
technically that wasn't cool.
her
Yeah.
just allergies, and it was really bad. That's when we were
So
like, oh,
you said
okay,
because I want to try to keep this under 15 minutes. 15 minutes is the goal, so I can edit this all
okay, what?
nice and tight.
Let's stop
Because
talking about it because you're gonna cut this out.
some new things, and you all have to tell me what you think. You had questions and things you didn't understand.
Okay, one of the questions that I had was that Towards the end, after Mr. Kim stabs Mr. Park and he runs away, and Kevin is out bleeding, and then his girlfriend takes him out, because everyone's like rushing, and his sister's dying, and the mom got all sliced up. It shows to him in the hospital waking up, and he's just
Yeah.
laughing and everything, and then it cuts to him getting read that he's on probation or
Yeah.
whatever. My thought is, why is he in trouble? And he was in trouble for trespassing and everything. So my guess is, why is he getting in trouble?
So they're in trouble for trespassing because they didn't have permission from the family to be there the night of the when all the family was there.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying, how do they know that?
Because they know because when they went there, that was prior to the original housemaid cutting the wire.
Oh, you're
Because they make
right.
a point to the first time they show the camera pointing at the house, the front entrance. So they would at least have footage up until all four of them going there.
Okay, yeah,
Then
that
it would
makes
line up
sense.
where she cuts it and then comes to ring the doorbell.
Oh, that makes sense. Man, you're right. I didn't think about that. Okay. I feel like I had another question, but now I can't think about it. Um. Oh, one of them was that. Do you think the little boy died?
No, I don't think it died. I think if the little boy had died, then they would have been in more trouble. But since
But they didn't really cause his death. That's why I don't think
they
they would have.
they tangibly cause stress to the child.
But they. I don't think they
If
don't
they
know
if
that.
yeah, they would have. Because if none of that happened, guess the kid wouldn't have had a seizure and passed out.
But I mean, like you said, all they know is that they trespassed the house. They don't. You know.
All I'm saying, yeah, but that doesn't matter. They showed up and caused a scene on the property, which led to the kid having the incident.
Technically, the creepy husband living underneath
Yeah,
that
but
basement thing.
that only
He
happened
did.
because of them, so it doesn't matter. It all goes back to them causing a scene there.
I guess. I don't know. Um, I really felt bad for them, for the family,
I didn't.
the
They
poor
caused it.
family. I know. What I mean is that they were trying so hard up until that point with the crazy dude and the stabbing and the murder, everything. Up until that point, they were trying so hard, to get money, get out of their
Yeah.
financial struggle, and they were nice to a point because they weren't perfect. Obviously, no one's perfect, but I guess what I'm trying to say is they worked so hard to get to this, and they just kind of ruined it for them. And
They're
like the
being greedy.
yeah, I guess so. You're right. Cause
And the other family was also fairly naive too and busy in their own world.
yeah, I guess what I mean is the rich family. They were kind of just. I can't figure out the word I'm trying
They
to
didn't
use.
deserve anything that happened to them.
No, they didn't. Obviously,
Yeah.
not. But
Man, can we talk about him kissing the high school girl?
how? Do we even know how
Yes,
old
she's
he
in high
is?
school.
No, how old
Oh, how
he
old
is.
he is?
He
He's
just
out
says
of.
college.
He would have been in
Possibly.
college.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure his friend also said he served in the military for a little while. So he's in his
Oh,
mid to late 20s.
true. Ugh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Now I'm just like, ah.
See?
But then again, you and I, we're like 5 years apart, so.
Guess what? I didn't come hit on you when you were in high school.
But you would have,
Gonna
because you would
crack
have
her a
been
high
like,
five.
no, go away. Get away from
No, I
me.
wouldn't. My point is, that's different.
It was not
Yeah.
okay. The
I'm
first time,
like, what is he doing?
yeah, my first thought was that his best friend, the rich one, he was like, once I come
Well, he
back.
wasn't rich. He was just in college.
Was he? I thought he was a little rich.
No.
Oh, I thought he was. He was just like, I'll ask her out seriously because he seemed to be really interested in her.
Yeah.
And then when he kisses her, his friend Kevin, I was like, oh my god, how dare you do that to your best friend? Betray his trust. But then, I don't know. Overall, I just did not think that was a smart thing to
And
get
the
in a
dad was
relationship.
also. I love what they did with the soundtrack and just the way they did music with each of the characters.
Yeah.
And the dad always had this like, even before, his dad always had this like silence and then underlying like tone of dread and like melancholy playing whenever he
Well,
was on screen.
when you look at him, his face just gives you that vibe. He looks, you know, miserable and stuff. Like even in the beginning with his wife, with the whole Wi-Fi thing, his
Yeah.
wife was just like, "So what's your plan?" And he was just like, he didn't say anything.
Like he's probably been on edge because of his living situation for
And with the
years.
flood, it worsened it. And then coming to a rich house, having a
And
party,
it was like all of it leading up to him breaking with the
especially with the
accidental
smell.
smell.
Yeah,
Like,
when they
because that
kept telling
last
him,
bit wasn't because of him, it was because of the body.
I know, but
But that was like the
it built
snapping
up
point.
because the dad, not the dad, the rich husband, he was just like, "Oh yeah, have you ever noticed that Mr. Kim has that weird smell?" And then the rich wife is like, "What smell?" And he was like, "It's
And
kind
then
of
when
like
she
a
was in the
radish."
car,
Yeah, and then
it was
when he takes her out
undescribable.
for the grocery store and she comes back into the car and then she starts smelling what her husband had told her. I think that was kind of like pushing him more to it because he did not. He seemed miserable, and we get it because they all lost
Yeah.
their home flood, and then when he saw Mr. Park, pinch his nose because of the dead body smell, and probably because when you're down there, there's no shower, right? In the basement, so the dude probably hasn't showered in forever. And just all that just kind of pushed him over the edge and then stabbed him. And then you could tell he felt really bad about it. In that one scene, he's like, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Park."
Yeah. And then the end when the son realizes that the dad ran there, and he like has this. At first, you think it's actually happening, but then it's just him daydreaming of what that day will be like.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no," but then I'm like, it makes sense because to be able to buy a house like that, it would take a couple of
Yeah, and it's
years
almost the movie saying at that point, well, maybe that should have been your plan to begin with,
instead of hustling. And
instead of the way in which they went about it.
honestly, they just they could have kept going, but they were like you said, they got greedy.
And
You
then
know.
everything escalated. But give your final thoughts on the
Oh
movie,
wait,
so we
I
can.
have
Oh
one more
yeah,
thing.
what is it?
Okay, you know how they showed that scene where the one dude in the basement was doing the Morse code because his wife was already dying and
Yeah.
everything, and the little kid he wrote down the Morse
Mhm.
code in his thing. What was the point of that when he never revealed it? You know, he never went to his parents like, "Hey, Morse code."
Well, you could tell he was a young kid, so he wasn't spelling it properly. Because I'm sure
Yeah,
he was
because it said
supposed to say
hope.
"help me," but he was putting like "hope."
Yeah. Then he passed out, and then they woke up to his party. But I don't know. I feel like they were gonna do something with that, but then they didn't. Because any
Yeah.
adult would have been like, "Oh, that O is supposed to be an E," you know. Um. Other than that, my final thoughts is that I really enjoyed this movie and that I want to buy it.
Yeah, I really liked it
And
overall.
it was great. It was perfectly done. You can relate to their situations at some to an extent, and you root for them, and then you're like, oh, this is what happens, and then you just feel bad, and it's just like, oh, we never mentioned that the sister died.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
That I was like, oh no, because I really liked her, and she got stabbed right in the heart.
Right in the chest. Yeah, there was.
I did
Yeah.
not like that she died, but I get it. Someone had to. I really thought Kevin was gonna die because he hit him with that stone
Hard.
twice.
Yeah.
And overall, I say if you haven't seen this movie, I
Yeah,
would
give it a
definitely
watch.
watch
There's a
it.
lot of really good foreign films out there,
I know.
so it's good that one got a lot of review and
I'm happy
build
it
up
won the
like this.
movie, the
Definitely
best
one of my
movie one.
favorite movies from last year.
It was last year,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Oh shit.
that and Knives Out would be in my top
Oh,
10.
Knives Out was so
We have
good.
to make a list of top 10 movies. We need to finish a couple from last year, but definitely we should make a list.
We will.
But all right. Tell us what you guys think if you like these. Hopefully, I get to cut this all together in the way I want, so it shows up right. But if there's any movie, show, anything you'd like us to talk about, let us know.
Give us your recommendations.
And we'll have some new merch. Well, I'm gonna say this give me further motivation to put this out on time. But we should actually have some new merch coming in this week. The this also date whenever this was made. The magnets for Snom and Galarian Ponyta,
Oh, that still looks so
and then the
pretty.
really cool holographic stickers we have coming in of the Galarian. I'm super excited to see those. I really can't wait.
Me too. I want to keep some, but then
Yeah,
I'm like, where would I put
I'm
it?
as excited as when we first got the first round of merch.
Oh, the very first
Yeah,
time?
I just
Yeah.
really want to see how these turned out. But yeah, leave comments, leave likes, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.